Time now for the CJHL report. The Canadian Junior Hockey League brings together 135 teams in the 10 Junior A leagues involving over 3,000 players from right across the country. The Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League was able to resume its season last week. For more, now join us as League Commissioner Rob Mazzuca. Rob, welcome to the show. And how good does this feel being back playing?
Well, great to be on the show. It's good. It's great for the players. We have a few restrictions. We're only permitted to play within our respective health units for the time being, but it's great to be back on the ice. It's great to be organizing games and the kids are playing. So it's so far so good.
It's interesting because you've gone through quite the journey because teams in your league were able to play up until the end of December before resuming the regular season last week. Walk us through what that was like, having so much up in the air and trying to keep the kids active and ready to come back on any given notice.
We were on lockdown for a period of 30 days, and then we came back, and a lot of the kids were already here from the January. They stayed within their respective billet places for a month. And some of the teams got a little creative. They built rinks on some of the lakes and some of the rivers. So they did that for a month. And now that we're back practicing, all the teams I talked to are just thrilled to be back on the ice practicing. And some are playing. The Soo Blind River are playing. Cochrane and Timmins will be restarting here very shortly. And we're just in a 14-day transfer until our next cohorts in the Sudbury Basin.
All right. So a lot of people are going to wonder, how is this going on? Because big chunks of Ontario are completely shut down. The OHL has not resumed its play yet. And yet in certain areas, you guys are able to resume. Walk me through the process of the necessary steps that you guys had to take in order to be able to resume in some spots.
So the provincial government comes out with a color-coded system, and then you have to deal with each respective health unit. So when we were coming back, all the health units in the north said they didn't want travel between the different health units. So, Hearst, as an example, is in Porcupine. They took a leave of absence. Kirkland Lake was in the Temiskaming. They didn't have anybody to play. They've taken a leave of absence. So it's just Hearst. It's Cochrane and Timmins. In Porcupine, we have 3 teams in the Sudbury area. So one of them has to sit out. We might try something a little different and maybe get a U18 Sudbury team to be the 4th team. And Blind River and the Soo are in Algoma. So every health unit is different. It's a challenge on a daily basis. You're watching numbers and stuff. So we're trying to get through that, and it's interesting.
We're in conversation with Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League Commissioner Rob Mazzuca. Rob, do you feel like you have to be an engineer to be able to do all the permutations to make this happen?
I have to have more patience than I normally do, which for some reason, somebody's thrown on me, which is good. But I got a great staff. We have some great medical people that we have access to that gives us good direction. The OHF's been great. The NOJHL's been great. And the respective health units in Algoma, Sudbury, Porcupine, and Temiskaming have been fantastic to deal with.
Give me a sense of what the protocols are like in terms of testing and follow-up and stuff to make sure that everybody's being safe.
So everybody before, if you weren't already here within your respective health unit, when you came back you had to came back with a negative test. Then when you got here, you had to have another test. Then it's 14 days once you got here. And then, we were fortunate that, a lot of the teams that are playing already had their players here. Like the kids have been here since, the shutdown happened in January. So they got here the first week of January, and they've been here since. So, testing coming in to get here, testing when they get here. They're all screened every day. We have a screening process. Then we do temperature checks. When you get into the rink, we have another screening process, and it happens every game, every practice, every time they're together.
Listen, sadly, the Centennial Cup had to be canceled a couple of weeks ago for the second straight year because of COVID-19, but we understand the safety behind that and not bringing people from various provinces into one area and one part of the country. So we understand that. But given the fact that we still can't play for a national title this year, how important was it to still have as much hockey being played out there for as many kids as possible? Because for some of these kids, this could be their final year. For other kids, this could be the year they want to show themselves so they can move on to another level of hockey. How important was it you as a commissioner, the league in general, that you guys got back playing?
from what happened last March 11th, when we actually were completely shut down across the country, and going into this year, there were, as you know, obstacles and hurdles. I think it's critically important for the players to get on the ice, be with their teammates. And you know what? These kids are pretty sharp. They know the safety protocols. They all get it. They want to play. They're not taking unnecessary risks. And I think just to get them on the ice and play as many games as possible, knowing that there wasn't a national championship, there wasn't a regional championship. And it's hard to have your league championship when you got half your league not playing, but just to keep them on the ice to play in that environment is mentally, I think, really important, and safety is important. So they get it, which is phenomenal, and they understand it, but just to play as long as we possibly can.
You mentioned mentally, and I want to follow up on this because it's important. Another topic that we often discuss in this segment is mental health. Now it's the 6th year the NOJHL continues to partner with Canadian Mental Health Association with its Talk Today program. Every member club has taken part in assisting with mental health issues, which is amazing because it's been involved across the board with players, coaches, staff members. Given what's happened over the last 12 months, how important was it that you guys had this program in place and available for everybody throughout your league?
I think it's critically important, and the coaches and the GMs and the owners get that aspect of it, and they know we have the resources available for the players and the staff too. You know, you got to think of the staff and the coaches, because it's mentally stressful for them as well. And you know, it's there if they need it, they have it, access to it. I've spoken to players. We've done Zoom calls with teams and players. The players actually, some from teams, came up with a schedule on how to get around these things. And in those discussions with the players firsthand, it's important that, you know, we relay to them that there's available resources if they need to. They're watching their teammates, they're texting, they're on team chat. So it's important that we have access. Like I said, we're the first league, I think, in junior A hockey in North America that implemented that 6 years ago. It's a big part of our safety stuff for our players and our organization. So it's important.
Rob, congratulations on all you've done and the good foundation that you've built for these kids through a very difficult time. We appreciate your time. Stay safe and healthy, and enjoy the games.
Thank you very much, Gino. Always a pleasure. Good luck. Stay safe.
That was NOJHL Commissioner Rob Mazzuca. And that wraps up this week's CJHL Report. The Canadian Junior Hockey League, your future is here. Coming up, after a sizzling start in the WHL's return to play, how high can Edmonds Oil King sniper Dylan Gunther go in the upcoming NHL draft? Our director of scouting, Craig Button, joins us next. This is season 30 of 7-Eleven Junior Hockey Magazine. And don't forget, you can listen and subscribe to the complete podcast by checking out any of your favorite podcast platforms.